Mr. Young Trader, this is the last call of the day, so we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, at the ETF or Ethereum, ETHU, and then we'll take a look here at gold and silver and crude oil and natural gas. And then we'll take a look here at NVDA. Now, this is going to be the trade of the day and also of the week. It's going to set the tone. Okay, at the end of the video, the support and resistance levels are posted for crude and natural gas. This video is for everybody. So it's only not a recommendation to buy or sell stock commodity ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have Bitcoin daily, weekly chart. Now you can see here how we put this bottoming tail in yesterday. And now we made a nice higher high and a higher low situation. But, big but here, we're coming right into this 8-day at 113.556. Now when the futures open at 6, this 8-day is going to be lower, so that's going to become very, very strong resistance. Now, if we can get above that, then we're going to be looking right at that 50-day, 114.107. Then we'll come over to the top of this candle here, 115.30 level. Then we're looking for 116.084. That is going to be your 21-day. Then we have a nice retest of this of the recent high here at 117.640. Now, if you keep cracking up here, you got 118.350. We'll come up top of that candle, 119.810. We'll come to the top of there at 127.55. Always look to the left, 121.255, and then we have this candle at 122.955, and then always look to the left again, 123.615. That's going to be key on a closing basis. We can get above that. We're going to head for that 125.200, but a lot of resistance. See how that 8-day crossed the 21-day, crossed the 50-day now, and it'll be lower when those futures open. Yeah, that's going to be very, very strong to get above. Now, here on the downside, we're looking at yesterday's high. You're looking at 111.495. Look today's low, 110.420. Come to the bottom of that candle, 109.590. Then we'll come right there at 108.845 level. Now, we lose that. We come right to the bottom, 107.840. Then we have 107.680 level. And then we'll come right here to the old Hondo at 106.316. Now, we have this 21-day. That's going to be very, very key on a closing basis by Friday. That's the key. So you want to watch that 107.146. It's right between the 100-day and our recent low here. Okay, so that's going to be very, very critical on a closing basis that we hold that by Friday. Now, the ideal situation, if you're long or you're bullish Bitcoin, then we want to get above that 116.635. That's going to be very, very crucial on a closing basis like we did last week. See how it came right on down? Where did it close? Right back above it. Same way here. We got a bottoming tail, but we got to get back above and close back above that 116.36 level. Now, you can see a negative divergence played out very, very nicely. So always watch this RSI. See, we have high, lower high, high, higher high, negative divergence, and boom, down goes Frazier. Okay, so you got 45 that can go on. That's not overbought or oversold. And we have the green that's going right below the red. So again, we have a downtrending situation. And the whole key to this is getting back above that 8-day and that 50-day and that 21-day to take this bad boy higher. If you can, then this is going to go lower. Your big target's going to be right there at that 106.316 level. Now, you look at the weekly chart here by Friday, I say we want to hold that 21-day. That would be pretty good. We got to a look at overbought condition. Now she's coming right on off. The green is over your red. But let's just see how this all shakes up, because that can curl back up the same way with here if we can get back above that key 8-day by Friday. Okay, now again, that being said, I've been trading the BITX, okay? Now today we had a low of 53.86 and a high of 55.48. This has been just some awesome trading, okay? Yesterday I traded it 4 times regular. Then after hours I traded it another time. And then today I already traded it 3 times here. I'm just going back and forth, back and forth. Now, the easy way to use that, to trade that, is you want to use a tick chart, a 1, a 5, and a 15-minute. You want to slow the trade down, use a 30-minute, 60-minute chart. And then if you really want to take it down, use an hourly and a 4-hour chart kind of a situation. But always look at the daily, the weekly, and a monthly chart on anything that you are trading. Okay, let's take a look here at this ETF for Ethereum. Here we have the old leverage ETF, Ethereum. Now, again, you can see here, a lot of people like to trade this, which is cool. That's why I bring it up on the board here at the end of the day, okay? So this is looking very, very good. Now, we had this double top situation, okay? Then we came right on down, but this was an inside day. Yesterday we had an inside day, but look at today. We put in a higher high and a higher low situation. Now today we got as high as 171.40 level. What we're watching is the top of this candle, 169.48. So we're just above that. So your next level is going to be right up here. It's going to be 174.97 level. Okay. And then we have 175.80, and then we can retest this level at 183.18, and then we can test that at 186.68, and then 188.73. That is your big boy. Now, again, you close above that, you got to head right for that 200 mark. Now, this is this isn't like Bitcoin. This never really sold and lost all those simple moving averages. You can see how this 8 days still very nice, 21 day, 50 day, 100 day, everything looking very, very bullish here. Okay, so really the key level that we want to watch on the downside, you watch at today's low, 164.89 level. So if you look right to the left of the chart, you have 165. Okay, so you're sitting pretty much right there. But the key level you're going to watch is that 158.50. That's going to be very crucial. Then we go to yesterday's low, 155.51, 154.01. Come to the bottom there, 145.83, and then we're looking at that 144.57 level, okay? Now, again, we lose that, then we come down to this level, 136.91 level, and then we can come right across over the top of that candle at that 127.69, and just work on the gap to fill, until we hit that 50 SMA. But right now, this is still looking very, very good. Came down, held that key 21. Told you the 21 is the old catch-all, okay? So rallied right on up here. Look at this. Held it very nice here, held it very nice, and now she's moving back up. So as long as this 8 day holds, that 21 day holds, this has got a good chance of retesting that high of 188.73. Now, we look here on the weekly chart. You can see how nice that 8 day just curled right on up above the 21 day and the 50 day. 21 days curling right back up here, and the 50 days rolling up. This is looking very, very good. So actually, so far for the week, but again, it's only Wednesday, we have an inside week, as they call, okay? Because your high and low is the price of previous high and low. But again, if you can crack that 188.73 level, then we come up here. This is going to be your next target, 194.80, and then we'll come up there at 232.91, okay, 246, and you could crack all up to that 251 very, very easy. Okay, so again, just remember that very, very bullish chart, bottom left, upper right, looking very, very good. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. All right, here we have gold, here we have silver. Now you can see the nice uptrending situation that we have. Okay, now all we got to do on the downside is watch very, very key levels. 34.04, there's your 8 day. 34.05, there's your 21 day, and then we have your 50 day sitting right there at 376. That's really all you really need to watch. As long as that's hold, we're good. We lose that and come to the bottom. Okay, you got 33.67 to the bottom, 33.62. We come to the bottom there, 33.53. And then we have your 100 day at 33.38, and we have a retest 33.19. And then we have the big boy down here at 3,300 flat. Okay, but right now we have a nice good uptrending. Your RSI 58, not overbought, oversold. Green cross to red. See that? Momentum to the upside, and this is what we got. Now, upside, 34.50. Okay, so right now you're sitting at 34.48. What we're watching was the bottom of this candle right here at that 34.45. So you're just above that. Now your next level is going to be that 34.51 level. That's going to be very, very key. And then we want to come up to the top here at that 34.66. Okay, so that'll be your next target to the upside. Then we just roll right to the left. You got that 34.76 level. And then what we do is we go right to the left of the chart, and that's what you're looking for. This is the big boy right here, 35.09. You have to close back above that. If you can, we'll hit target to that 35.34 level. Okay, so let's just see how it all shakes out. But right now, this looks like it just wants to move higher, looking very, very bullish on the old charts. Okay, now silver. Well, you can see silver here. It rallied up, came down, but we put this bottoming tail in there. Very, very nice. And now we're over the price, that price channel at that 34.09. Okay, so now today we hit this high of 39.26 level. Okay, so what we're watching was 39.33. That's going to be your next target. Then we'll come up here at that 39.52, 39.66, and then you retest 39.91. Just easy peasy. Very, very simple. Now, this was coming down, but yesterday I pointed out that you had a possible bull flag situation, okay? And as long as we're above this candle here, this is playing out really, really nice here. Even though we had this bottom tail, which is always good, shows you that you put the bottom in and she wants to go higher, okay? It's just like a reversal, like when you have a topping tail, wants to go lower, okay? So very, very nice situation. On the downside, you just want to watch that 39.09. That's going to be key. Yesterday's high, 38.86 level. And then we come down to today's low, 38.67. But realistically, you're watching this 8 day, 38.33. that 21 day 38.01, and then we have that nice 50 day at 37.74. So right now your price is above all your simple moving averages. Very, very bullish. Same thing here. Very, very bullish. Looks to want to go higher. All right, let's take a look here now at crude and natural gas. Here we have the old crude ski and we have natty gas. Now you can see the EIA report came out today and it was very bullish. I got to post it for you at the end of this video. Draws all the way right straight across the board, which I would expect it to do. Okay. Now the reason being is we have this Labor Day weekend coming up. So you got all kinds of drying. You can see how even like the volume in the market is down. So you got a lot of end of the year dry, or end of the summer, I should say, driving now. And next week I'm expecting a good draw also. But then again, then you got that summertime is pretty much over, and you got coming into the fall where the vacations are done, people back to work, kids are back to school, that whole kind of a scenario where that should slow down then. Now, unless you get some kind of a hurricane season to make some kind of disruption where that hurricane comes into the Gulf and you disrupt the ports and you got to close down the rigs, that affects crude oil, natural gas, and gasoline very easy. But right now, it's not really doing it. You have the hurricanes, but they're going right up the coast, and it's not affecting like your crude oil and your natural gas situation. Now, what we got here on crude oil is we put in another lower low today, and then again, but we're above the 8-day, and we're smack into that 100-day. Look at this bad boy, okay? So 64.22 is what you got to watch, and then you got to watch right above it is that 64.45. Now, when you look at this, you can see this 21-day rolling over. See how it went right into it, came down. Into it, came down. And it didn't even make it there today so far, and it's coming on down. So watch that 100-day, and then watch that key 21-day. If you can get above, then we have 65.10, then you have 66.10, 67.41, and then we come to the bottom, you got 68.56, top 69.58, and then you retest at 70.51 level, okay? But very, very strong resistance. The only thing that's holding this, the only glue here is the 8-day. Now, we lose that 63.35, and come down to today's low, 62.95, come down there, 62.52, 61.83, and then we have that 61.45 level. That is going to be your big retest situation. Right now, you got 47. That's not overbought or oversold. The green is over your red. So it looks like it shows momentum, but I am very, very leery, number one, of that 100-day, because look what it did in the past, okay? Look at what it's doing right now, okay? You're holding this very, very tight, but that 21-day is key. That's going to be very, very strong. You have to get above that in order to go take that bad boy higher. Now, natural gas had a nice little pop there today, okay? Nice little pop in the old natty gas. Now, you can see where it popped up, went above that 21-day, but right now, okay, look where it is. You're below that 21-day. So now you got a ping-pong action between that 290 and that 278, okay? The 21-day, the 8-day, we're playing right between. So we got to see what those futures are and what's going to be the reaction today. So what you want to watch is today's candle, 291 on the high, 277 on the bottom, but watch that at 21-day and watch that 8-day. We cracked that 21-day at 290 level. Well, then what we do is we just take it right to the top. You got 296 level going on here. We have 3 flat. We have 310. You have 315 roughly, and then we come up this area. You have roughly 319 level, and then we come up to your 50-day, your 100-day, and then we have your 200 SMA. But you got to close above. So what I'm waiting for now, I didn't take no trade in natural gas there today. So what I'm waiting for is this here. There wasn't much in the UNG there today, okay? You had 1209 on the bottom, 1238 on the top. It just wasn't enough for me to waste my time with, okay? There's a lot better stuff out there trading-wise than what that was doing, okay? So what I'm waiting for is a close above this 290. Then I'll jump into UNG, and I'll take that thing long, okay? That's just how that's going to go, okay? So that's basically what I'm waiting for. But you got to be just a little bit patient in order to do that. Now, on the downside, if 8 days everything, you need to hold that 278. If not, you're going to go right to the top of this candle, which is the gap fill at 274, the bottom 265, and your retest at 262. So let's just see how it shakes out. But right now, we have a downtrending situation, okay? But we're kind of like breaking out of it. If you can get above that 21-day, then I'm going to be long, and I'm going to take it up to that 50 SMA, because that's basically where we're going. Look how long, how many days, okay, that this is held, that 8-day has held, and now today we have that breakup. But let's see, 1 day does not make a market. Let's see if that will hold. Now, 45, it's not overbought, oversold. The green is above your red here, so let's just see how the shakes out. So I always talk about, well, if you once you get past that 8-day, the catch-all is a 21-day, and look what it did. It caught it. Very, very easy. So now let's just see if it can uncatch it and take this up here, or does it come right back down towards that 8 simple moving average? Okay, let's take a look here now at NVIDIA. Here we have NVIDIA daily chart. Now you can see the massive run that has happened, okay? Got all the way down to 86.62, nice. And then all the way up to A184.48. Okay, now the earnings are here after the bell. They're expecting a 5% move, okay? So really, if you break this 184.48, just figure you're going to go head towards that 200 mark, okay? Now, if you lose, say it goes down, well, then what you want to watch is this recent low at 168.80. Realistically, that 169, that 50-day level, okay? So pop up, we're going to go to that 200 mark. Pop down, we're going to come down to that towards that 50 SMA, okay? That's just how that works. Now, the key to it is going to be not the news that matters, but what the reaction is. Now, they're going to have massive, massive numbers. I think they're looking for $54 billion, worth of sales. The key is going to be, can they carry that going forward? Because we don't really care about the past. What we're looking at is the futures, okay? And what's going to happen with this new chip that they're designing for China? There's a big, big market for China and for all of these other countries, okay? So just remember that a lot of times they're saying, well, we got security issues. We're not going to allow this. We're not going to allow that. So this is what you got to go. So I just think out of China, they're looking at taking like about an $8 billion loss just on that China. So let's just see how this all shakes out. So let's just look at the earnings in the past. So we had this earnings situation here, and then it sold off. Earnings situation here, then it sold off. Earnings situation here, sold off. Now this earnings, this was the last earnings that we had, came right up here, popped up, and then just gradually just climbed it. Now again, watch this time of the year. End of August, September, first week of October, that 6-week period there is very, very difficult, the worst weeks for stocks. So just remember that, okay? Now, again, if they can get good numbers and this stock goes higher, you're going to carry the rest of the market, everything with it, including Bitcoin. Okay, that looks like Bitcoin is also following these markets. So you're going to have a huge rally in everything. Okay, so the numbers, this is going to be very, very important to see what they have. But remember, it's not just the numbers. It's that going to be that guidance going forward on what they say. That's going to be the key. Now, can they deal with China? Can they deal with these other countries and they feel safe and they feel secure in that whole situation? Or, are they not going to be? And then, I'm saying, well, we're challenged there or something on that kind of order. So let's just see how that shakes out. So bottom line on the chart here, what we really want to watch here for right now is 179.56. There's your 21-day, 178.69. There's your 8-day. Now, if we lose all that, yeah, we have support levels, but realistically, look to that 50-day, 169.23. That's going to be your target kind of a situation. Now, on the upside, we want to watch that price channel at 184.48. That's going to be very, very critical, and that's your breakout. Now, we can get above that. That will venture towards that 200 mark. Now, here's also the thing that you want to take in consideration. If this stock starts rallying and the rest of the market starts rallying, okay, now, is that a good selling opportunity to sell these high-end stocks, these oversold stocks into that rally? Okay, so always take that in mind. Okay, now a lot of times when you see these big rally, like you have a big rally up here, I'll be selling portions of the stocks like in my trading positions right into that. Okay, so always take that in consideration that might be a nice good pop up, and then all of a sudden she just dwindles right on down. So we've got to see the earnings going to be very, very key, and it's going to be the reaction to it. That's what we're going to be worried about, okay? Now, again, we have this negative divergence going on here, so just to be a little bit careful about how we're going to be doing this whole situation. But it's all going to be key and hinged on what the guidance is going forward. So we got to see how this all shakes out. And then we will review this tomorrow with all the information, and we'll take a look at the charts and see exactly what's happening with it, you know what I mean? But right now, you got 50.61. That could turn and go right back up here very easily like we had here. This green is below your red. That doesn't mean that can't curl up, and we could take this bad boy higher, okay? But this also could roll over, so let's just see how this all going to shake out, all right? So bottom line, after earnings, once the earnings come out, give it a little time to shake out, let them have the conference call and that kind of a situation to see exactly the whole period of it, okay? But if you do have a good rally, don't be afraid to take, this stock and some other stocks, take a little bit off the table as it's going right on up here, okay? Now, if this stock sells off eventually, comes all the way down, then I would always say this is always a stock that you want as a buying opportunity. Okay, so let's just wait till the earnings come out at 4 o'clock. Tomorrow we will review this again, and then we'll see where we stand. All right, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.